Don't need to use the N-word and I speak English properly. Don't need to sell drugs to get RESPECT. Most of my friends are nerds and or from the suburbs. They wear preppy clothes and they don't smoke herbs. I live next door to a country club and listen to rap songs, but I like other music too, so don't get me wrong. Don't need to speak phonics or have the latest electronics. My name doesn't end in Isha and my friendships are platonic. You like your chains. I'm not the same. And that's no shame. Because I know you can barely spell. You kiss and tell. Said I should as well. But you need to keep your chains to yourself. 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 Don't try to put them on anybody else. Don't need to be hood or gangsta to claim that I'm real. Don't need to be somebody's bitch or hoe to claim that I'm real. Don't need to be in jail or fight to claim that I'm real. You know those things aren't right. I'm just being real.
How did the mainstream black persona go from the average to the ghetto to the hood rat? After the hood rat was brought out from under the rug, there was a lot of sympathetic shows and films that tried to understand, help, uplift, and even soothe the hood rat. This led to an acceptance of the hood rat, which eventually led to a takeover. For example, artists like Salt-N-Pepa started to address the Roughnecks in their songs. The Roughneck is a predecessor of the hood rat. Heaven and Hell was totally different from their previous work and talked about the emerging hood rat lifestyle, known then to be lived by roughnecks, thugs, or gangsters. Salt-N-Pepa were not alone because the scene had changed due to the rise of roughnecks. The roughneck became the desired bad boy with songs like Gotta Have a Roughneck. Gangsta Bitch described the female roughneck and both songs became hits. Movies like New Jack City, Boys in the Hood, and Menace to Society brought roughnecks and gangsters to the limelight. Some artists saw that things were headed in the wrong direction and addressed it in songs like Queen Latifah's UNITY, and some TV shows made fun of gangster rap and roughnecks. Those who were weary of or jeered at roughnecks weren't all Carltons. Martins also moved from jokes about ghetto people to almost comedic astonishment of roughnecks. Once the dog pound set in, along with groups like Onyx and others, the roughnecks took over and was supposedly real or keeping it real. At this point, if you even resembled a Carlton, you weren't real. Eventually, not being real led to acting white. Soon after that, even the Martins, the average black persona, had to do things and say things to prove they were real. As the hood rat takeover finalized, even Shanae probably wouldn't be considered real enough or soft and had to prove herself. At this point, the mainstream black persona was now only roughnecks, gangsters, or thugs, with Shanae hanging on by a thread. As roughnecks, thugs, gangsters gave birth to hood rats and became the hood rat collective and an accepted mainstream black persona, Shanae started to become the average black persona, pushing Martins into borderline acting white category. So now to be real or black enough, you had to act or talk like a hood rat often or occasionally. Don't dare be a Carlton, and you're even treading on thin ice if you were a Martin who didn't act hood or gangster often enough. Eventually, all people who could be considered blacks were expected, pressured, or bullied into acting like a Shanae, ghetto fab, or hood rat. Remember that I am talking about characters and songs, not the artists who sing the songs or the actors who play the characters. When I say Martin, I'm talking about the character he plays, not him, although the names are the same. When I'm talking about songs, I'm talking about the lyrics or even the music video, not the people who sing the songs or are in the video. When I talk about their work changing, I'm talking about their music going in a different direction, not them personally. I don't personally know these people and am not judging anyone's music. I actually like or liked some of these songs and shows. I am just using them to illustrate the point. The Hood Rats' rise wasn't without opposition. Protest for music to be more respectful to females and not use the N-word were common. Even though Queen Latifah sang about the hood, she warned about hood life with UNITY, asking for respect for females and warning young girls about hood rat behavior with lyrics that said, "You wear a rag around your head and you call yourself a gangster bitch now that you saw Apache's video. I saw you wildin', acting like a fool. I peeped you out the window, jumping girls after school. But where did all this come from? 1 minute ago, you were a nerd and nobody ever heard of ya. Now you're trying to be hard." The lyrics are not exact. The rap music scene changed. It went from songs mainly about black history, lighthearted subjects, parties, friends, etc., or a few cautionary tales, mostly said in proper to decent English, to mainly songs about drugs, sex, crimes, gangs, violence, clothes, and money. Some of the earlier songs talked about rivalries between rappers, but most weren't as hostile and threatening as the rivalry songs that came after the hood rat takeover. The hostile and threatening environment of the hood took over the music and eventually became the representation of rap. There is a difference between ghetto or ghetto fab and hood rat. Shanae and Brother Man were ghetto. Joseph and O-Dog were hood rats. To put it another way, Will was borderline ghetto and was presumably from a neighborhood that could be considered ghetto. But his mother didn't want him hanging out with the bad boys, hood rats, and go down the wrong path, so she sent him to live in a better environment. Will was a homeboy from the ghetto, but not a hood rat. Then there is O-Dog. He was a hood rat. See the difference? Will and O-Dog could have been poor and from the same neighborhood, but they grew up with different values and were taught different values. So just because someone is poor or grew up in the hood, she or he may not have adopted hood rat values. Most hood rats live in the hood, but some make it out of the hood. However, some who make it out of the hood hold on to their hood rat values. So, even a wealthy or well-to-do person could be a hood rat if that is how she or he behaves and presents him or herself. This is not a discussion about socioeconomic status, but a type of behavior. Hood rats sometimes try to pressure or shame others into acting black, which can translate into acting more hood ratish. When a hood rat says something like, "You know you're black," or "You're black," in an annoyed or hostile tone, or even in a matter-of-fact way, it can come across as if they're saying you should act and be more like me. They want you to talk like them, do what they do, like what they like, dislike what they dislike. Forget yourself, your culture, your values, upbringing, and whatever makes you different, and act like the mainstream hood rat persona. In some cases, the hood rat has become so accepted as the mainstream black persona that even non-black people look at anyone who resembles Carlton as being fake, trying to act like something they're not, or not being real. They don't understand that there is a diverse range of behaviors among blacks and those who can be perceived as blacks. Not all blacks are poor or grew up in the hood. Sadly, some hood rats expect other blacks to conform to their ideals and forget who they are. Some may argue that Carltons can't complain because the hood rat was swept under the rug for a long time and forced to act like a Carlton. It needs to be said that Carltons weren't always seen as acting white, being fake, or even being ashamed of their ethnicity. That happened much later. In the beginning, Carltons were just seen as well-mannered and well-spoken people from decent homes. Whether you were rich or poor, behaving like Carlton was similar to behaving as if you had manners, some form of education, and a decent value system. Acting a color wasn't really the main point. Behaving as if you were a decent person was the main point. I got better things to call myself than a racial slur.
I got better things to call myself than a racial slur.
I got better things to call myself than a racial slur.
Respect my ancestors and don't let that line blur.
Switch the beat, switch the beat, switch the beat. Let's go.
Call me brother,
Call me sister,
call me ma'am,
call me mister.
you can call me a tenderoni,
You can even call me homie.
you can call me home,
You can call me on the phone.
but if you call me the N-word, then you'll hear the dial tone.
You can endear me with other words than a racial slur.
You can endear me with other words than a racial slur.
You can endear me with other words than a racial slur.
Respect my ancestors and don't let that line blur.
Change the beat, change the beat up, change the beat up, change the beat up. Let's go.
Call me honey,
Call me sweetie.
call me nice, pretty, or cute.
Too cute.
But if you use the N-word, then you gotta get the boot.
Call me fat.
Call me skinny,
Call me short.
call me tall.
If you gotta call me the N-word, then don't call me at all.
I'm your girl,
I'm your boy.
I'm your sunshine,
I'm your joy.
I'm a hero,
I'm a light.
but your N-word, that's not right.